All right, let's run this back again. Greetings, Grand Rising, good morning, everything, all of the things. Today I'm back to talk about the body. We are on a 9 environments of you series. So far, I have talked about memetics, I've talked about spiritual, and I have talked a little bit about the self. The body is another one of those very, very complex systems because it's based heavily off of our beliefs, the way we view health and fitness, the way we view ourselves, and all of our culture. All of these things play a factor in the body. I'm like I said, it's deep, but we're gonna get into it. I'm looking at my notes just so I can make sure that I'm covering everything. Now, first, I do want to say there are a lot of systems that people use to govern their bodies and their health and the way that they process, health and fitness altogether. I can't get into all of those things, but these are things like eating by your human design, eating by your blood type. If people are working out to bulk, they're going to take in more protein or whatever. There are lots of different things. Also with our cultural and societal norms, some holidays we eat certain foods or we eat bigger meals and all of things. So as you can see, our memetics are going to heavily affect our body. However, there are some universal truths that it just is what it is. And also my little scientific brain will also have me breaking it down from a molecular, scientific, atomic, all of these things. But I'm gonna try to just keep it pretty basic and surface level, and I might get more into the psychology of the body. But yes, so we all know that our bodies need basic things like sleep, a proper diet and nutrition, exercise, and all of these things. Now, like I touched on, as far as with our diets, there are different ways to eat that help to energize our body and help us to function properly. And all of these things are going to be individualized. Again, there are some universal truths that are just across the board. This is just common sense. However, we are individuals, and sometimes we have to try different diets out to see what will work best for us. However, if we're just eating Cheetos and processed food all day, we already know that that's not going to be the healthiest thing for our body. So we want to make sure that we're getting a balanced diet. Whether you do plant-based or anything like that, we still want to make sure that we're giving our body the proper nutrients that it needs to function just basic. So that is going to be, we're going to need hydration. Water, definitely plenty of water. Now, we have those who will argue that water isn't the best for us and that we should be drinking fruit waters and things like that. Those things are true too. Fruit and water are good for us, but we need to just make sure that we're staying hydrated. We are composed of a lot of water. There's also a lot of water all around us at all times. So we need to make sure that we are hydrated. When it comes to proper nutrition, we can argue that this diet is best and this diet is best, but we need to make sure that we are getting some vitamins, some fibers, some minerals, and all of these things. So we know that these things naturally come from plant-based products, like fruits and vegetables. I'm not going to get into, the best ones for this and that. It just depends on what your body needs, and at times your body will need more or less of certain things, and that's okay too. You have to listen to what your body needs. Sometimes you'll crave certain things, and some will argue if you're craving salty foods that you need this, or if you're craving sweet foods, you need that. Either way, you know that your body needs a well-balanced diet, proper nutrition to function properly. And also, these things are very important for, our children as they are naturally developing. We have different stages of our lives, and their brains are developing, their bodies are developing, all of these things. So we have to make sure that we're giving them the proper nutrition, or just introducing these options in. If you're a parent, sometimes your kid is not going to want to eat the healthy things. So we do have to get clever and find ways to sneak these things in. And I'm speaking about the children because, again, I was referring all of these things to, autism. If you're feeding your kids processed and sodium-based stuff, you don't think about your child having high blood pressure, or you don't think about your kid having diabetes or any of these things. They might present as healthy, but the more and more they take in, things that are unhealthy, later on we see that these things can affect their thinking, their development, their body, their energy, all of these things. So we have to make sure that they're getting proper nutrition. Far as sleep too, we all have to make sure that we are resting our bodies, resting our minds, so our body, our cells, all of these things can rejuvenate, and so that we can just rest, and we can't always be in go mode, or our body will start to shut down and it'll make us sit down. It'll make us sit down. Exercise, touching on exercise, there are different exercises that are going to be, it just depends on what your needs are. Like I said, if you're trying to bulk up, you're going to want more protein, or if you're trying to slim down, you want to eliminate certain things. There are so many systems that are good for our bodies, and so many forms of exercise as well. I'll just give an example. Myself, you'll look at me and you might think I'm the epitome of health, which I do eat plant-based, and I do pretty much eat a lot of herbs and take in a lot of healthy things, but I also eat by my design. I'm a projector, and for me, I have to make sure that I'm resting a lot, and I have to, the certain times of days is better for me to eat. It's better for me to eat in the evening. So there are different ways to address all of these things, and you have to eat and exercise and rest and all of these things according to what's best for you. You might have to try some things, fill it out. That's okay too. But exercise is big for all of us, especially for our babies who have excess energy that they don't know what to do with. We can't just have them sitting in front of devices. We can't expect for them to just be quiet and just sit still all day. Young children especially, they need that exercise to learn and to explore and all of these things. So we have to make sure that we are giving our bodies some form of exercise, whether it be strenuous, you doing, weightlifting or whatever, or just calisthenics or yoga or qigong or whatever it is. You have to get your body moving and active so that it's not dormant, so that you're getting in that breath, you're getting in that prana, you're getting in that energy and all of these things. Another category for the 9 environments is going to be nature, but that also affects our body. We have to, get certain things from our natural environment, surrounding ourselves in with all of these greens and things. We're taking in, the sun going through them, and we're breathing in that fresh air. We're taking in the vitamin D and all of those things. So all of these things affect the body. Let me refer to some notes, child. Like I said, the body category to me is it's complex, and it's based a lot off of our beliefs and things like that. So we just sticking to the basics. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper. So one thing I do want to talk about too is good morning, Rich Risings. Briefly, before we get all conspiracy theorists, vaccinations, they are going to play a part in, your body and how it develops. They're going to play a part in the development. One thing that is now universally known is that vaccines can cause these other diagnoses like mental health stuff and autism and stuff like that. So we just want to be mindful. I'm not here to tell you to vaccine or don't. But I will tell you that it's a religious exemption form online that you can print out, easily have notarized, and go take to your school. That's all I'm going to say on that. But those things do affect our body because there are added ingredients that might not be healthy. The whole idea behind vaccinations is inoculation anyway. So we're putting this stuff into our system so that we can better, adjust to it and adapt to it. I will just say you can be mindful and inoculate in other ways. That is something that I have, learned to adapt. We are adaptable humans in our bodies as long as you talk to your body. Again, this is based off of beliefs also. You can adapt. We're always breathing in someone else's air. We're always breathing in someone's germs and things like that. We're covered in bacteria, good bacteria, bad bacteria, all of these things. So from a scientific perspective, yes, the body is very complex, and I'm just saying be mindful. Just saying be mindful. I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong. You have to find what works best for your body, your energetics, your system, and all of those things. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is your family history. If you have a family history of cancers and diabetes or any of those things, these can affect you in the now. They can manifest themselves here in the physical, and those things are based off of our beliefs about food, but also genetics. That's just a thing. Sometimes we are more prone to certain things because of our family history and the way our family just operates. So be mindful of those types of things. And I did say your beliefs on health and fitness, that's your beliefs. So whether whether you believe you can talk to your body and help it to heal, that's a different faith. Your faith has a lot to do with that. I'm not going to get into that today. Food insecurities. Another part of this 9 environments of you is financial. So that will affect the foods that we choose or have access to. So not saying that, it's always your fault, the foods that you have available to you, but we have to be mindful that that isn't a factor. If you're eating just cheap foods, or if you're eating whole foods and things that are organic, those things are going to affect you. But also remember that your beliefs are also tied into that. Let's see. Naturally, also, our bodies are just wired for certain things. So some things that might agree with my body might not agree with yours, or vice versa. And we'll see that reflected in things like food intolerance, allergies, and stuff like that. Some things are good for my body and some things, are not. Same with you. Just be mindful of that. And again, you might have to switch up your diet and try certain things. Also, our exercise and the things we eat are going to be affected by social and economic factors as well, and the way we view our bodies and what they should look like or how they should be. So if you grow up in a culture that praises being thicker or praises being fat, and that culture says that you are rich or something, that might affect the way you eat. So just be mindful of that. And another part of it is your energetics. Certain foods just naturally give us more energy, but sometimes certain people have more energy and they'll need different foods, or they'll burn foods off differently. It's very complex. So I will say one thing that can help if you are interested is looking at the human design. And that will kind of tell you, like I said, some people, they'll eat by their blood type, or, they might have specific needs. Also, eating foods that are in season. At different times of the year, our body requires different things. At different times of the year, our body processes things differently. In the winter, we slow down versus in the summer, we're fueled up and moving around and, certain things. So all of those things affect our body. Even another thing too, like I said, I'm trying not to get too deep into it. Other people's projections, our own fears, our own discomforts and dis-ease. Sometimes whatever is going on with us psychologically, those things can store into our body and bring dis-ease or bring sickness, and then that will make us have to heal and get into our herb bag and all of these types of things. So there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different factors that are always affecting the body. So we just want to be mindful of what we're putting into our body, and even also we want to be mindful of the products that we are using, because our skin is one of our biggest organs and is constantly absorbing a bunch of stuff in the physical and the spiritual. It's that gateway to get into our inner G and our inner me. So we want to be mindful that we are using products that are not going to cause that dis-ease or cause these illnesses and stuff like that. Just be mindful. You want to use healthier products whenever you can. Like, even, you know, we have certain people that will talk about the fluoride and how that calcifies the brain and all of the, a lot of those things are gonna be belief based, but if you, depending on what you believe, those things will manifest in the body. So again, I'm not necessarily trying to tell anyone what to do and give everybody a specific thing. We're all different and we all have different needs, different times of the year, different parts of our lives, and I'm just wanting everyone to be a little bit mindful of all of these things. Now, like I said, I'm a vegan and I eat and sleep and live by my design. I've leaned into that. So I might not be healthy to some, but you know, it works for me. So you have to really just find what works for you and be mindful when you have children of these things also. And be patient. Definitely be patient with your child because they are developing and growing in their body and their minds and all of these things. They'll need different things at different times. And if they have, you know, peers who, you know, if your peer has these snacks, of course your kid is going to want those snacks. And, you know, it's okay to have treats. It's okay to have certain things in moderation. But overall, we want to be mindful of our general health and our body. Another thing that I'm going to address briefly is energy and what energy also is, because sometimes we have more energy or sometimes we have energy to do this or whatever. There are different waves of energy, and I want to just let you know, or, you know, confirm for you that sometimes those waves of energy are spirit, and we are just spiritually led to certain things at certain times. So the body is very complex because our body is so complex into this little form. So just be mindful. Just be mindful. And if you really do have any other questions or you want to start deep diving into these different ideas and concepts, again, I'm here to help, but I tried to keep it as brief as possible so that my scientific brain doesn't have me all over the place, so that my spiritual brain doesn't have me all over the place. But again, those universal truths about, you know, exercise, about sleep, about proper nutrients, about hydration, those things, we kind of just, we can tweak them a little bit, but we just have to be mindful that we are giving our body, you know, the best opportunity to be its best self also. So I hope I didn't cause no more confusion, child. I was praying to God about this one. And I just had to kind of jump off the porch. So again, if you have any questions or any clarification that is needed, you can leave comments after I post this or inbox me. I'm here. Everybody have an amazing day. And also, I just want to say this too. I see other people are talking about human design, so I guess it's all just in alignment. And it's good to see that we are now unraveling all of these different dimensions and layers to us so that we can truly elevate and be our best and higher selves. Be mindful about this stuff with your kids, though. I love you all. Have a good day.